Hello, so this is just a quick update on the progress that I've made with the Pi controller allstar node. So I've got the chassis apart here, and I've made a little PCB board up here. This has got the LEDs for the display at the front here. These originally were little light bulbs, but I've actually changed them for tri-coloured LEDs. I'll sort that out in a minute. I've wired up these switches and the LEDs, and these come on these flexi cables here, which will go onto the GPIO pins on the Pi. I just cut a piece of copper clad board off and just fixed it onto here. It's easier to cut a piece of board and drill and fix this board to the chassis rather than trying to drill lots of little holes in the chassis. This is much easier to work with, and I've got plenty of it, so that was the way I did it. I've used this technique before to get, because you can solder to this board and you can also drill it very easily and screw things to it. It's a bit harder. I mean, you can still drill through this, but it's just a bit easier on this. This is one I made earlier. This is a Baofeng UV5R, and it's in a little Hammond case, and when eventually it's all finished, the lid will go on and seal that down, and I'll bring out the RF connector through the back of the box here, and that's all be nicely sealed and shielded away from any noise sources and stop it from getting into the radio. I've modified the PA on this. In fact, if you've got one of these radios, there's two little variable resistors here. One of them adjusts the reference oscillator, so if it, you can set the frequency basically if it's drifted off slightly, as they do, and the other one sets the low power. So I've actually got the low power on this is about 400 milliwatts, and obviously I don't know where the rubber membrane is. It's kicking around somewhere, but you can obviously still push the buttons to key things in, and of course you've got access to the programming port on the side here as well. So I'll program that up with some channels. You've got the channel selector knob here on the top, and you can also, I beg your pardon, this is the volume control, isn't it? But no, I think it's these buttons here, up and down the channels. So it'll be a case of setting it, putting the lid on, screwing it down, and then it's good to go. So I'll have 400 milliwatts, 2 meters or 70 sems. I'll choose which band that's going to go on. That's going to get fixed. I will drill through here and bolt this to the chassis. And then there's the Pi, and then over here I'll probably put, this is where the power supply is going to go, and audio amplifier for driving the speaker here, and then this part here I'm going to just make a little piece of metal that goes up like an L shape that goes here. On the original Pi base station, all the cables came in up through the bottom, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bracket that I'll make here that goes across here, and then all the connectors will be at the top facing down, so you'll lift it up and you'll put your power in up through the bottom, microphone up through the bottom, and it will mean that I don't have to drill any holes through the case. Anyway, so that's a little update from today, and I'll do another little video of the construction when I've done a bit more work.